how often should we be following up with leads, and what do we say when we're following up with leads? If you are not reaching out to any lead, regardless of where they're coming from, at least 7 times before you write them off, you are not following up, you are ghosting your clients. Then hold up. Whoa. 80% of your sales prospects will need a minimum of 7 contacts before they choose to hire you. We're afraid to bother clients. We don't know how often to reach out. We don't want to be annoying. We don't know what to say. More often than not, agents are failing with their follow-up because if you have found your way here, you are a real estate pro who's ready to transition from chasing leads to getting dream clients to chase you. This podcast is where you will learn the business and systems strategies you need to grow your real estate business so that you can get paid consistently, connect with dream clients, and keep your sanity. So recently, welcome back to the show, by the way, I shared a video and a conversation where I was talking about how to improve your follow-up with some just easy, simple swaps, right? Like instead of saying this, say that. And I gave some really great examples, really interesting conversation, a lot of interesting feedback on that. And so what I want to do today is answer a specific question on how often should we be following up with leads, and what do we say when we're following up with leads? So this is actually all answered in my no-fail follow-up guide. So instead of doing like a big intro really quick or taking this time to like shout out anything that we've got going on or coming up rather in Market Authority, I'm going to take just a moment before I get into it. I'm going to share with you the resources that we actually have to where you can grab these from my shop and implement these systems so that you can have like instant things in place. So in the Market Authority shop, we have 3 guide bundles, which is a lot of where this conversation is coming from. But we have 3 systems guides, not guide bundles, systems guides, forgive me. So we have the no fail follow-up guide, which is what we're talking about today, how to follow up and not fail. We have the referral mastery guide, which is how to create a referral-based business and your referral marketing plans and the referral scripts, like everything you need. And then we also have the time management guide for real estate agents. So the no-fail follow-up guide is actually going to have a lot of what you need that we're going to cover today, way more in depth. So we're going to have the conversation. I'm going to tell you how often you need to be following up with leads. If you want to get my follow-up campaigns and see exactly how I'm setting it up in my CRM and how I'm automating and what I'm automating and like all the different pieces, stephanielugo.com/shop. You're going to scroll down to the guides, hit that no-fail follow-up guide, or get the bundle for all 3, and you'll get like $300 worth of extra freebie bonuses in there. But that is going to have everything that you need for your entire follow-up system for your real estate business. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how often you need to follow up with leads. And what inspired me to kind of have this conversation is somebody responded to the video that I posted on the follow-up swaps, and they said, okay, so like I can try this, but my question really is like, how often do I need to be following up with these leads? Because Stephanie, I got an open house lead and I checked in like once or twice over a couple of weeks and they didn't respond. And this has happened a couple of times. So now I'm wondering if I'm just not reaching out enough or if I'm not saying the right thing, like which is it? And I said, excuse me, but please take a moment and explain how often did you reach out to them? Like walk me through step by step. And the agent said, well, okay, I had the open house and I got their information because they signed up on my sign-in sheet. And then like on the following Wednesday, after I did the open house on the weekend, on that Wednesday, I reached out and they didn't respond. And then I didn't hear back from them. So I figured they were busy. And so then I reached out 2 weeks later and I said, hold up. Whoa. Like, let's just get something straight here. 80% of your sales prospects will need a minimum of 7 contacts before they choose to hire you. Let me just say that again. 80% of your sales prospects need a minimum of 7 touches, like text, emails, calls. If you are not reaching out to any lead, regardless of where they're coming from, at least 7 times before you write them off, you're not following up, you're ghosting your clients. Okay, so like, let's just put that out there right now. Because a lot of agents think like, oh, my clients are just ghosting me, or I got these open house leads or this Instagram lead and they ghosted me. Are they? Or are you just ghosting them because you're not following up? Right? And so I think it's really important that we understand like, how often really? Yeah, 7 times. Like in the first week. Sometimes in the first 5 days. So one of the campaigns that I do in the no-fail follow-up guide is our 5-day disposition. Our 5-day disposition is a goal of within 5 days of generating the lead, whether it's an open house lead or an internet lead or a sign call or someone coming in from social media, within 5 days, we need to get a solid response back from them and have a conversation to determine if they're a viable lead. Meaning, are they willing to buy or sell in the next 12 to 18 months? Are they able to buy or sell in the next 12 to 18 months? And are they open to doing that with us? Within the first 5 days of getting that lead, we need to reach out a number of times so that we can actually have that conversation. That is going to include like 7 to 10 touch bases over that 5 days. A combination of text, calls, emails, I don't know, carrier pigeon if you want to go that far. But here's the thing. Like, let's just walk through this and why this is so important. Let's say you get somebody who comes in at an open house and you're having a conversation with them and you really hit it off. And they sign in on their open house sheet. And for whatever reason, this is a different conversation, but for whatever reason, you choose not to straight up try to have the buyer consultation right there. Like if it's me at an open house and I'm really hitting it off with an unrepresented buyer who's been looking in that area, maybe they're 3 months, 6 months out from actually buying a home. If I'm having a conversation like that, I'm like throwing everything off of the counter, like off the tables, and I'm saying, sit down, let's have a conversation about your goals because I think I can help you with this. Tell me about your home search journey. Now, if you're not having that conversation right there and you let them walk out the front door, within 5 days, you need to be reaching out at least 7 times until you are able to have that conversation. Why? They're going to get in their car, first off, and forget that conversation ever happened. Unless you're following up with something ultra valuable, like a short video series on YouTube of you explaining the home buying process, right? Or sending them a services guide with a how to relocate to your area portion, or this or that. Like, unless you're giving them something of value right there and giving them a reason to reach back out to you, you are now trying to catch them. You are now the dog chasing after the mail carrier van. And yeah, the van is stopping every now and then, but they're still driving faster than you as the dog can catch up to them. That's why most follow-up fails, because we're afraid to bother clients. We don't know how often to reach out. We don't want to be annoying. We don't know what to say. And so more often than not, agents are failing with their follow-up because they're ghosting their clients because they're the dog and they get tired and hungry and they get blown off course and the mail carrier goes to the next neighborhood and so on. You have to follow up with leads pretty often. And if you think that it's going to be annoying, here's the thing. These people have very full lives of their own. They got stuff going on. Okay, you're like a blip on their radar at this point. And you are competing not only with the thousands of advertisements that they are seeing in a given day through their consumption of social media, through seeing billboards on the highway, through seeing commercials, if any of us still even do that. You know what I'm saying? You are competing against a lot of noise, for one, just to get their attention. But they're also busy. They have lives. They have toddlers who start screaming for their attention as soon as they get on their phone. I can't tell you how many text messages I have not responded to in the last 4 years because some tiny child, I love my kids so much, is constantly at my hem of my skirt going, "Mommy, mommy, look at me," instead of your phone. Or I'm trying to cook and do a million different things as soon as I get off of work and make every moment count. Or I'm so exhausted, I cannot possibly look at another email or another text or answer my voice messages. I instead need, not want, need 30 minutes of time to decompress by scrolling on social media. Have some compassion for your people, okay? Honestly, they are busy. And so when you are following up, you are not pestering them. You are offering them multiple opportunities to reach out to you when it's convenient to them. You're simply bringing the conversation up to the top. That's all you're doing. And so stop overthinking. Their world does not revolve around you and your communication. You could probably reach out to them 14 times in 5 days, and it still wouldn't really bother them because they would only see and notice the last one that you sent. I'm just going to say that right now. So in case you needed a little bit of a mindset moment with Stephanie, get over yourself a little bit. Like, we're not following up with them enough, not nearly enough. Okay, so rule of thumb, every single lead, 7 touch bases. What do you say? That's the next part of the conversation. You say whatever you need to get a conversation. All right. And so if your initial follow-ups and outreach, let's use the open house example again, just because it's spring and a lot of my colleagues are doing open houses. If your initial outreach is, hey, I've got some more homes to show you, when are you free to go look? You lost them. You lost them. You have to read the room. Okay. You have to have an understanding of where they're coming from and what is going to be valuable for them in terms of an offer. And so for me, I am going to say anything that sets up a discovery or a strategy call, like just an introductory call between a prospective homebuyer and seller and a prospective realtor that they might want to hire. Okay. I am not trying to set the listing appointment right away. If I can, then awesome. Like, obviously, let's do that. But if you have a colder lead who needs some warming up, who isn't sure how far out they are in the process, maybe they're still in the information gathering stage, maybe they're still in the planning stages and they don't know exactly what their next step is, but they know they don't want to speak to a lender yet. They know they don't want to look at houses that they might not even be able to afford. They're just trying to figure out their next step or like what this whole situation needs to look like for them to be successful. We cannot be offering them things in our follow-up that's going to be like many, many steps ahead of where they are. And so that's why I think the best way that you can help serve your individuals is something along the lines of, hey, open house example. Hey, had such a great time connecting with you at that open house. You know, you had some questions about the neighborhood. You had some questions about the process. I can tell you're not looking to buy a house tomorrow or something, but I can tell that you do have some questions about the process. And I'd love to just offer a sounding board and answer some questions that you might have about your potential home search and see if I can give you some clarity. If it makes sense to work together, then great. But why don't we just start with a conversation? That is an easy thing to say yes to. A 15-minute phone call is a lot easier to say yes to than, no, I did not get a chance to look at the listings you sent over via email because I haven't been able to pull up my email because I need to go grocery shopping and I barely had time to get to the gym and my kids are all over me and I have to make dinner. Is that just me? Okay. And so I'm just trying to offer you some perspective here. A lot of times we're talking about very much the surface level of follow-up, but bring it down to their level. Have some compassion with where they are and meet them where they're at. For me, the best thing to say, really had a great time connecting. I want to know more about where you are with your home search. I think I can help you. I can at least answer the questions you have so that you've got some clarity on where you need to be. What do you say? How does a 15-minute conversation work for you? You open this Thursday? Awesome. Let's put it in the books. And then after they accept your invitation to a phone call, you're going to go back to the video that I posted a little while ago, where I walked you through the steps of what to do when you get a new lead. And you're going to send them a couple of things that I mentioned in that video. Get them ready, get them excited, get them in the right frame of mind. And now you can actually initiate a client journey. Now you can initiate a sale. But I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some context into what it is we're looking to accomplish here. And I know I get a little spicy sometimes, but you guys, we're not just selling homes here. We're helping people undergo what is one of the most stressful events of their entire life. We got to read the room. We got to meet them where they're at. And we have to have the right mindset about it. What do you think? If you are watching this video on social or on YouTube rather, let me know in the comments if like I hit any trigger points for you, or if you feel like this really empowered you to do the right kind of follow-up finally. If you want to grab my system, like I'm not pushing you to like just sell stuff. You can go get my system in the shop. So that you can actually start reaching out to people. Again, stephanielugo.com/shop. See how I do it. Get my whole bank and a list of conversation starters and reach outs. But if you have a specific question or if I'm missing something here, leave me a comment on this video. And that way I know how to help you, and I'll follow up with a more in-depth conversation if need be. If you're listening to this on the pod, hit me up at Instagram /Bryson Stephanie. I'm Bryson Stephanie on Instagram. Send me a DM. Let me know your thoughts. Or if I need to go into anything more in depth, you can always shoot me a message there. But I think these are conversations that we need to have, and I hope that this really this found you in the right headspace, and I hope that you found it helpful. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. And until next time, keep on crushing it.